All right, let's jump right into this explainer because we've got to unpack a viral comedy skit that completely hits the nail on the head when it comes to the modern gaming industry. We're looking at a brilliant piece of satire by YouTube creator Mighty Keith. It holds up a mirror to us as consumers, and honestly, the reflection is a bit painfully accurate. We're going to break down how a simple, innocent trip to a virtual clothing store spirals into this absolute masterclass on microtransactions, consumer pressure, and just how far game developers will go to squeeze every last dime out of our hype. So the entire tension of this skit boils down to one massive number: $100. $100. This is the heavily rumored price tag for the Ultimate Edition of a highly anticipated upcoming game, which we all pretty much understand to be Grand Theft Auto 6. In the skit, this number is basically the threshold for basic respect. It's not just about buying the game anymore, right? It's this unspoken expectation that to truly experience the title, to avoid being locked out of the coolest content, you gotta let a crisp $100 bill vanish from your bank account before you even hit the start button. And what happens if you don't drop that $100? Well, the exact second the cashier realizes the player hasn't bought the Ultimate Edition, he literally grabs a megaphone and blasts this for the whole store to hear. He publicly shames the guy. It's aggressive, it's completely over the top, but you know what? It perfectly satirizes that very real fear of missing out that publishers weaponize to push those high-tier pre-orders. Okay, moving on to Section 1, the Ultimate Edition skit. Let's break down exactly how this sets the scene. The setting here is Finwood, which is the skit's hilarious stand-in for real-life Wynwood, Miami. It perfectly sets the stage for a player who's just trying to look cool in the virtual world. He walks into this high-end boutique, totally ready to trick out his character to go get some attention out in Finwood. The cashier is being super friendly, hyping up every single choice the player makes. It completely captures that classic, intoxicating feeling of customization and immersion that these massive open-world games are always selling us. And this perfectly illustrates a consumer trap that we all know way too well. Think about it. Step 1, the player is having a blast just trying on clothes. Step 2, he finds this perfect blazer and is ready to walk out. But then, step 3, bam, the cashier suddenly asks for the Ultimate Edition VIP pass. Just like that, the illusion of freedom shatters. You're allowed to window shop, sure, and you're allowed to want the digital goods, but the second you try to actually equip them, the game harshly reminds you of your real-world financial status. Which brings us to Section 2, the $100 virtual paywall and the escalating insults that come with it. The escalation here is just fantastic. The cashier starts hurling these completely absurd insults at the player just for not having the Ultimate Edition. First, like we saw, it triggers that ear-piercing alarm. Then he literally calls security, labeling a Standard Edition player as an Omega-level threat. I mean, come on. He tells the player to take his business down the street to Walmart. And honestly, my absolute favorite part, he complains that the player's thick cloud of poverty is physically messing up his sinuses. It's top-tier comedy for sure, but it highlights a pretty wild truth about the modern gaming ecosystem. If you aren't a premium spender, the system kind of treats you like a second-class citizen. Naturally, the player fights back with a frustration that is so real to all of us. He points out that base games are already super expensive before you even factor in these premiums. He's begging the cashier to be reasonable, pointing out that asking for $100 up front is insane, especially when we all know how many modern releases launch in a buggy, mid-quality state anyway. This line right here, it hits the nail on the head. The baseline cost of entry is already steep, yet the industry just keeps moving the goalposts, asking for an extra $40 or $50 just so you can access the complete experience. All right, Section 3, Stardew Valley versus Premium, the great industry divide. So when the player complains about the steep price, the cashier gets incredibly condescending and offers a cheap farming simulator as his only alternative. He literally says, if you want something cheap, go play Stardew Valley. The contrast here is so stark. On one side, you have this cheap, peaceful farming life. On the other side, you have these $100 premium titles where, as the cashier puts it, we kill things and join gangs. It perfectly encapsulates the current industry divide. You've got indie games offering these affordable, complete experiences, while AAA blockbusters gatekeep their high-octane fantasies behind massive paywalls. The skit even takes this hilarious little detour to name drop industry titans like Ubisoft. It acknowledges their notorious pricing strategies while still admitting, hey, their older games can actually be really good. While the player is getting actively berated, he mutters this line almost like he's in a daze, suddenly remembering Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It's such a great little Easter egg of dialogue. It reminds us that these massive publishers weren't always synonymous with aggressive monetization. I mean, they used to just be known for making fantastic pirate games. But, well, times have certainly changed. Let's look at Section 4 now, the cost of gaming hype and the ultimate punchline. To really get the punchline, we have to talk about Lucia. She is the confirmed female protagonist of the upcoming Grand Theft Auto 6. We already know the internet is absolutely buzzing over her, and her inclusion is a massive driver for the game's cultural momentum right now. So, as the player is completely cornered by security with his quote-unquote aura of poverty apparently suffocating the cashier, he begs this exact question. What are gamers actually paying a premium for? I mean, if the base game is already full price, what on earth justifies dropping another massive chunk of cash? What tangible value is actually being offered to us as consumers? And the cashier's deadpan answer? It is a hilarious, brutal, satirical indictment of exactly how ridiculous hype and consumer spending have become. He looks the player dead in the eye and says, "That's the price you pay to see Lucia's toes." The player is immediately disgusted, calls him a sick individual, right before getting forcibly thrown out of the store. It's the perfect ending, honestly. It highlights that ultimately, these massive price markups aren't always about expansive gameplay or incredible new mechanics. Sometimes, these publishers are literally just monetizing the absolute lowest common denominator of internet hype. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a necessary reflection. You really have to ask yourself where your personal breaking point is when it comes to the real-world cost of video game hype. As these Ultimate Editions continue to push past that $100 mark, are you going to keep paying the premium just to avoid the virtual broke alert? Or are you ready to take a stand and accept getting ejected from the hype train altogether? Think about it. The choice, and your wallet, is entirely in your hands.